International Overdose Awareness, and today Ludlow got a new resource to fight the opioid epidemic, a new treatment center to help those dealing with an addiction or issue.
Western Mass News reporter Matt Price gives us an inside look.
1, 2, 3.
Those dealing with opioid addiction and overdose now have a new place to get the help they need. Introducing the new Everest Recovery Center in Ludlow, the organization's first location in Western Mass.
Access and transportation are a huge barrier for all folks in this type of treatment. Folks who generally are in this program are at a low point and looking, they're sick of being sick and they want to get better.
This is their third location, with the other two up in Maine. The main goal, give those dealing with issues involving opioids the medicine and help they need.
We treat them here with counseling. We have a program director, we have a medical director, full medical team, dispensing nurses who give folks their daily medication, licensed counselors who provide the services, their psychotherapy services. Inside the new center, there is a dispensary where patients walk up and get liquid methadone, which could reduce their chances of future overdoses by about 50%. One Ludlow police detective tells Western Mass News opioid overdoses is something his department has dealt with for years.
I've been a police officer here in this community for 30 years. And we've had problems in this community very early on, like the first wave of opioid epidemic problems that we were hit pretty hard.
He says a resource like this is a game changer.
If the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem becomes a nail. So having multiple ways of addressing this issue is extremely important. And having a recovery center like this in our community just adds another tool to that toolbox for addressing these issues.
The new opioid treatment center will officially open and welcome its first patients on Tuesday. To find out more information on Everest Recovery, visit our website at westernmassnews.com or our app. In Ludlow, Matt Price, Western Mass News.
Friday, a Springfield police detective and Massachusetts state trooper arrested 22-year-old David Clark in Clark County, Las Vegas. Clark, who had 6 outstanding warrants from Springfield and Palmer district courts, was taken then back to Springfield Police Headquarters, where he was booked and processed. Those warrants were granted due to Clark's alleged role in an armed carjacking in Springfield from May of 2023.